Hi, today we are going to look at industry zones within the game Industry Idle. As you can see here, I have an industry zone selected. The way the industry zones work is they require all buildings in the zones be part of the same production. So I have an example set up here around this one industry zone. So we will be following the production of plastic all the way up to internet. So what I've selected here to the left of the industry zone is the beginning of my production line. It is a gas processing plant turning natural gas into plastic. Now the next step is the shoe factory, which is turning that plastic into shoes. The next step of the shoes is the fashion factory, which is turning shoes and clothing into fashion. Now it's perfectly fine in this case because shoes is an input. So with fashion, it feeds into the video farm. The inputs are camera and fashion, and the output is video. So taking the video, we move on to operating system Inc. The input here is PC, software, and of course video. So the output becomes operating system. The operating system then flows into web browser, where the input is operating system, software, Chromium, Fiber, and the output is internet. So as you can see, it is one production line. The plastic moves along all the way to the internet. So all of these surround the industry zone. One of the perks of having the industry zone is you get building permits back. So as you can see here, the building permit, if an industry has N tiers of production, it will provide N-2 building permits for free. As you can see, I have +4 building permits for free. The N tier is each of these buildings. I have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 buildings. -2 gives me 4. Some of the other perks, as you can see here, is Industry Zone Bonus Permanent, which is essentially a Swiss upgrade. You also have Industry Zone Bonus This Run, which is essentially a Swiss boost. And then you have Industry Zone Plus. So let's go over Industry Zone Bonus Permanent and This Run, which are Swiss upgrades and Swiss boosts. To get to those, you go to the icon with the globe and the plane, and you can see Swiss upgrade at the bottom. So I've selected it, and I'll scroll down, and here you can see the upgrade, Industry Zone Capacity Booster. Let's go back, and we'll look at Swiss Boost. You scroll down, and here you can see Industry Zone Capacity Booster. Now both of mine are 2.1000% or 2100%. They're the exact same number, which means you see the exact same number here, +126, +126. The Industry Zone Plus is a policy. Here you can see I'm getting +60%. So to get to the policies, you go to the gavel icon, and we'll scroll down, and we're looking for the policy Industry Zone Plus. This requires DLC2 or Expansion Pack 2. What this does is every tier or every 10 levels of an industry zone provide +10% output boost to buildings in it. All buildings in the zone must be working. A lot of the time you will see level 1 buildings, with the exception of the building you are really wanting to boost. This is because it requires less inputs to those buildings. You just want the buildings to run. You don't necessarily care that they're not producing a lot. Okay, so when you take the +126 and the +126 for the Swiss upgrade and boost, we now look at the gas processing plant. So up here on the top you see production multipliers times 317. select Show Breakdown. And here you can see Industry Zone Bonus plus 252. That is the sum of both of these. It is providing a rather large bonus. We also have Industry Zone Plus, which you can see here, plus 60%. Alright, one thing to consider is every single building in the industry zone is getting the exact same industry zone bonus and industry zone plus. So if you want to produce a lot of multiple items, you can simply increase the amount of levels for each building. So here I've jumped the level of gas processing plant, fashion factory, and operating system to 10. Now you can see here, this is a good example of a common setup where you are also leveraging adjacency bonus with industry zone. So I have an industry zone, and here is my production line. I have an industry zone, and here's my production line. You have two buildings which are not part of the industry zone, these two respectively. And what I've done is I've built a Skynet Inc. It is on a tile modifier plus 25% for both of these. That way I'm getting the most tile modifier that I can. And then I've built the industry zone on either side. And then I've built my production line. But what I've done is I've built Skynet Inc. to touch 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 sides of this single industry, or this single Skynet Inc. Same here, it is getting 5 points of contact, which means I get an adjacency bonus of 150% for each of these buildings. So not only am I getting the industry zone bonus, as well as the output capacity bonus, I'm also getting adjacency bonus. Okay, also you can use resource explorers, farmlands, and greenhouses that use recipes as part of an industry zone chain. An example of that would be here. I am using a resource explorer to mine uranium, which is then going to the uranium enrichment plant. It is producing enriched uranium, and it is going to the nuclear power plant. So it's a much smaller chain. I'm only getting 1 bonus permit. I'm not getting as much industry zone bonus, but it is pumping up the amount of power that these nuclear power plants are creating. So you're probably questioning, how much boost is the industry zone giving to these buildings? So we'll go ahead and do a couple things to show you. So we have an industry zone 10, level 10, gas processing plant level 10. You can see input is 63,000 natural gas, output is 118,000 plastic. So we'll just delete this. And you can see it went from 63,000 to 13,000 and 118,000 to 14,000. That's how much the bonuses we're adding to the production. You can also see here in production multipliers, I've lost my industry zone bonus. I've also lost my output capacity bonus. So hopefully this has provided you enough information to realize that industry zones are very powerful and they're a good way to go.